Greetings, Otaku Faithful. Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to bring you yet again another Legend of Korra episode review right here on Otaku Assemble! Weekly, as always, I'm here to bring you the latest in this week's Legend of Korra episode reviews. And this is my official review of the Season 1 finale, Episode 11, entitled Skeletons in the Closet, and Episode 12, entitled Endgame. Now, before I jump into this review, I'm going to give you all a brief disclaimer. This is going to be a long video. I'm probably pushing for somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. So for those of you all who just want a 5-minute, oh, let me tell you what happens in the episode, and oh, it was a good episode, this is the wrong video for you. Matter of fact, this is probably the wrong channel for you, because none of my reviews are like that. And this review will be no exception. I'm going in this time. I'm going in because I have multiple issues with these two episodes. And I need the time to expand on those. So I'm just letting you all know now it's going to be a long video. And before this review is over, there's some shit that we got to speak about. So let's jump into this. First off, let's start with episode 11, Skeletons in the Closet. Now, the main gist of this episode was we're picking up where we left off with episode 10, where General Iroh and his fleet from the United Forces are moving in to confront Amon and the Equalists in Republic City, right? And that's pretty much the main gist of episode 11, is the United Forces versus the Equalists. We got to see that thing happen. And the second main gist of the episode, which doesn't occur until like maybe the last 7 or 8 minutes, is we find out Amon's identity. Now, the first gist of episode 11, I had no problem with. You know, the battle between the United Forces and the Equalists, I had no problem with it. You know, just as I had predicted, that battle took place entirely over sea. Now, granted, I didn't think that the Equalists were going to have planes. I thought they were going to be using the airships, but they had planes, you know, which I actually did like. Why? Because it kept up with the historical setting of the series. Keep in mind, this series, Republic City, it's modeled after 1920s, 1930s New York City. So the idea that, you know, they have planes now and stuff like that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that they kept up with that I'm glad that they kept up with the line of continuity that the series has established for itself. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about the whole Amon identity reveal, okay? Because number one, I felt it was contrived, and number two, I felt it was cliche as all fuck. And let me tell you what I mean. We find out that Amon is actually Tarlok's brother, right? Now, hang on a minute, because this is what I mean. All season long, everybody's been speculating who Amon, and oh, Amon is this, and oh, Amon is that, and I'll be honest with you all. I've heard my fair share of ridiculous, I'm talking about just completely absurd, just completely mind-blowing and just completely logic-shattering speculations on Amon's identity. I'm talking about something that made absolutely no fucking sense. And I'll be honest with you all. My Yukon theory, I mean, that was a bit of a stretch, but it wasn't outside of the realm of possibility like some of the other ones I've heard. Like, that wasn't, like, mine was a bit of a stretch, but not too far of a stretch, right? And of course, we knew that there was some type of connection between the two. We knew that. But the whole Amon is Tarlok's older brother and Yukon's son, I'm sorry. That was lazy as all fuck. That was so fucking contrived. That was so goddamn cliche. And why do I say this? Because this is Tarlok's storyline. They established, you know, we found out about Yukon and the whole history behind him the same episode we found out about Tarlok's true identity, right? Well, throwing Amon into that mix, doesn't that kind of overshadows Tarlok's whole thing? I mean, think about it. We're dealing with the whole Big Brother prodigy character. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Shomaru. Oh shit, I think I'm coming. I think I'm coming down with something, y'all. Hang on a minute. Itachi. Oh shit. Oh, I'm coming down with something. What is that? You know, cause I don't know if you guys know this. I'm actually allergic to bullshit. So I Itachi. Shomaru. So oh, excuse me. I need a drink of water because, you know, that bullshit getting in my system is like I can't deal with it. So yeah, so we find out about the whole Amon is apparently Tarlok's older brother bit, and the whole time I'm like, wow. Now hang on a minute. In case you all are thinking I'm just completely shitting on this, right? Like I said, this is my reasoning. Number one, the whole prodigal son / sins of the father storyline bit, that was Tarlok's storyline, okay? Tarlok, his connection with Yukon, that was his storyline. You throwing Amon in there, number one, you're overshadowing Tarlok, but number two, you're downplaying Amon. And that's what it was about. Also, consider this. Like I said, the whole older brother prodigy turns to the dark side bit has been done to no end. To no end. Okay? It's been, I mean, shit. Just, you know, I mean, hell, just some other examples that just popped into my head. Hell, wasn't that the main villain of Rush Hour 3? Wasn't that Lee's older brother who's the bad guy? Let me see, who the older brother being the bad guy. What else can I think of? Just off the top of my head. In the New 52 with the whole Batman comics, we just found out Thomas Wayne Jr. was the one responsible for the, you know, Court of the Owls thing. You know, the big brother being the bad guy. The shit's been done to no fucking end. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make. However, I will give them this. I'll give them this much. The idea that being Yukon's son would shape Amon's ideology into having a resentment towards Benders, that does make sense. Because it's the same. Remember what my Yukon theory about Amon. Go back and watch my review and listen to that. Because, like I said, if Amon was Yukon, it would make sense in that way. But also, Amon being raised by Yukon would also make sense in that way. I'll give him that, okay? So, just so you guys know, I'm not just shitting on the whole thing. I'll give them that much. They got that? Okay, I'll give them that. Y'all got that one. All right, y'all got that one right. Y'all got that one right. I'll give y'all that. Okay, I'll give you that. But okay, I'll give them another one. One more. I'll give them one more. Peep this. Now, I'm pretty sure it was obvious that Amon was a bender. Why? Because before we even found out he was a water bender, at its core, when you take away somebody's bending, that's energy bending. So you are bending something, okay? So we knew he was a fucking bender. And of course, the big hoopla in Endgame in episode 12 was the fact that the Equalists found out that he was a bender, right? Which I thought was pretty fucking obvious. Why? Because before we knew he was a waterbender, one more time, I'm gonna repeat myself. Before we knew he was a waterbender, he could take away people's bending, which means he's an energy bender. But I digress. I will give them this. I like the fact that they did make Amon a bender. Why? Because Like I said, do you all remember earlier when I made the comment about the historical influences behind the series and how the series have managed to establish their own line of continuity using those historical references as a blueprint to develop their world building? Well, this whole thing, and hang on a minute, before I finish my statement, pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is going to be one of my major issues when I get to episode 12. So pay attention to what I'm about to say. I like the fact that they made Amon a bender because it reinforces a potential historical reference that I feel is significant to the line of continuity in which the series has developed. This is what I mean. What the Republic City Legend of Korra's timeline is influenced by what? 1920s, 1930s New York City, right? Now, this whole Equalist movement, this almost elitist type bit, what would it remind you of that also took place during the 1920s, 1930s, more specifically, the late 1930s? Nazis. Hell, the symbol, Amon symbol, the red sphere with the black letters, is that not the swastika? Does that not remind you of the swastika? So who would Amon be? Adolf Hitler. Who did Adolf Hitler hate? Jews. Why did Adolf Hitler hate Jews? Because he was half Jew himself. So the idea that you're making Amon a bender, I like that, because I'm not saying, listen to me, hang on a minute, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is intentional. I'm not saying that this is what the creators intended to do. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, knowing what the creators' inspirations were, it is not far-fetched to make the assessment that this could have played into Amon's character and into the entire fucking plot to begin with, okay? This is a reasonable enough assumption, okay? All in all, I'm making the point this. The potential historical reference that they are making with Amon's character, by making him a bender, I liked it, and I will give them credit for that if in fact it was intentional. I will give them credit for that. However, this whole thing, like I said, remember it, because I'm coming back to it when I talk about episode 12, which I'm about to get into. So, follow-up thoughts on episode 11. The first half, I didn't have a problem with. The second half and the whole Amon backstory was contrived, it was cliche, it was predictable, and it was lazy as all shit. Now, let's talk about episode 12, Endgame. Let's talk about this shit, okay? Now, the main juxt of this episode is pretty much, this is the showdown. This is the big confrontation. What has happened is that this. General Iroh sent out an APB to Commander Boomy, who has another fleet for the United Forces, and telling them, hey, they got Republic City booby trapped. Go to this place, stay there until I give you the all clear to move in with your forces. And so what General Iroh, Asami, and Bolin have done, what they decided to do was they were going to go to the air bay, to the hangar in which Hiroshi has all these planes stored, and they was pretty much going to go ahead and do a reconnaissance and a sabotage mission in order to clear the way for Boomy and his forces to come in. However, Hiroshi, which I want to note, how the hell was Hiroshi able to intercept that message? And number two, if Hiroshi had it, now you can make the argument, well, Hiroshi, he has all this tech. Of course he would be able to intercept the message. But then again, here comes my next point. General Iroh, you're the general of the United Forces. Why would you not assume that that man would be able to do that? Like, you should have... Look, what I'm saying is this. Number one, how could Hiroshi even have known to intercept the message? How could he have even known Iroh was going to send a message to begin with? And you could make the argument that, well, he has the technology. Okay, fine. But if you make that argument, here's my counter argument. How come General Iroh didn't have that information? You're supposed to be the general, dude. You should know that if a rich, billionaire, fucking tycoon, genius, scientist, inventor, engineer motherfucker is on the opposing side, you should assume that he has the technology and the intelligence, and hell, if nothing else, he could bribe off the people receiving the message to get the goddamn information. You should know this, sir. Do not be naive. Now is not the time for naivety, dude. Come on, Iroh, you're slipping, bruh. You're slipping. Okay, so anywho, Hiroshi intercepts the message. Iroh and them, you know, they get ambushed, and then we get the whole little showdown with them. You know, we get the Asami Hiroshi battle and whatnot, which I'm coming back to my girl Asami. Don't think I forgot. I'm coming back to her because we got some shit. Yo, real talk. We got some shit we need to speak about. All right. Okay. So that's pretty much what Iroh, Bolin, and Asami were doing, right? Meanwhile, we got Mako and Korra. After learning the truth about Amon, they decided they're going to infiltrate the Equalists rally in order to expose Amon, thereby turning the people against him, thereby losing his power, right? Yeah. Much good that did them, right? I mean, they were able to do it, but through a lot of difficulty. Now, check this out. Okay. Hang on a minute. Let me gather my thoughts, because I want to make sure there's nothing I'm missing before I get to the end of this episode that I want to talk about. Hang on a minute. Okay. Okay. Everything up to the actual confrontation with Korra and Amon, I didn't really mind. Like it didn't bug me. And I'm pretty much talking about the events, because there is some shit with the characters that I will get into in a minute, but I'm talking about like the manner in which the events played out. At that point, I didn't really have much problem with anything in episode 12 up to that point. But I will talk about the final confrontation with Amon and Korra and that type of bit. Now, granted, I thought it was fine. I thought it was decent, but it wasn't anything spectacular. And you know, cause I'm not the type where I'm like, oh, well, we didn't get no giant climactic battle between Korra and Amon. You don't need one. And hear me out when I say this. You don't really need one. See, I am the type of person where I only require epic, giant, climactic battles if the situation precedes itself. Like, if they set it up for that, then that's what I expect. You know, like you couldn't have, like, if we didn't have a giant climactic battle at the end of the Lord of the Rings, it would have been bullshit. Why? Because you had Helm's Deep, the Battle of Helm's Deep, at the end of fucking Two Towers. So if you ain't got a big fucking one at the end of Return of the King, that's bullshit, right? You see what I'm saying? They set it up to make you expect it. Legend of Korra, they didn't really, I mean, what the fuck did they lead up to? I mean, come on. You see what I'm saying? Okay, what? The Tarlok Korra fight? Is that supposed to be the one that's, oh, well, we had the Tarlok Korra fight and it was epic, so Amon and Korra should have been epic. No, because we already know that Amon's stronger than Tarlok. Not to mention, he can bloodbend without actually moving himself. He can do it with his mind. So, did you honestly think that fight was going to be any closer than Tarlok and Korra was? Because if you did, you shouldn't have, knowing that information. Oh, and then of course it's like, well, Mako was with her. It should have been a handicap, a 2-on-1. But Mako's a weaker bender than she is. If she doesn't stand a chance, what makes you think he's going to stand a chance? Do you see what I'm saying? So their fight, I didn't have a problem with. What I had a problem with was the aftermath. Like, we were led to believe, okay, yeah, Korra just lost her bending. However, she could still air bend. How the fuck does that work? Now my guess would be this. It's like, well, we don't know whether or not Amon. Okay, Korra and Mako kind of made the. I think it was Korra, Mako, and Tarlak. They kind of came to the conclusion. It's like, oh well, he must be blocking people's bending through blood bending. You know, like he's incorporating blood bending in a way to where he can block people's bending, right? Because remember, chi blocking is all about hitting those chakra points. Well, did I just say chakra points? I mean chi blocking, fucking Hyuga shit. It's the same fucking thing. But yeah, like when you chi block, you're hitting the points in the body that allow the energy to flow through you to allow you to bend. So yeah, Amon probably did some shit where he just bends the blood in a way where it blocks it somewhere, right? Okay, fine. Safe enough assumption based off of the information we have. But then if that's the case, then that means his blocking only refers to elements that the person knows at that point in time. You see what I'm saying? Korra was never a big airbender to begin with. She was all about water, earth, and fire, mostly fire. So when he took her bending away, or blocked it really, because he didn't really take it away, he just blocked it. Yeah, it would make sense that airbending would be the only bending she could use left because she doesn't practice it all the time. But then again, that's not explained. Keep in mind, everything I just said within the last 2 minutes, that shit's not explained. That's shit that I pieced together based off of what I know about the series. Now, did the writers intend for that to be open to where you can make up to your own assumption? Maybe. But to me, on the other side of the fence, that's weak ass fucking writing, son. That's weak ass fucking writing. What it is, it's literary convenience. That's what it is. And speaking of literary convenience, there's some shit we need to speak about, and I'm gonna get to it when I talk about all my main thoughts on the ending. Before I get to that though, before I get to the ending, I do want to talk about, well, fuck it, because that ties into the ending. What I was about to say, it's going to tie into what I'm going to say at the ending, because y'all see. Alright, let's talk about the fucking ending. Okay, so when Amon's lieutenant finds out that he's a bender, of course, he's like, fuck you. And then, of course, the Equalist people, like the flock of sheep they are, they just turn on him as soon as they find out he's a bender, fuck having a good reason for doing what he's doing. Fuck any justification he may have had. Of course, he did lie to him and shit. And I don't know why anybody, see, and this was my whole fucking thing. Because I know there were people who, when I did my review of episode 3, The Revelation, they were like, oh, well, Larry, Amon said this. It's like, motherfucker, Amon is not a reliable source. He's the bad guy. Why the fuck would you listen to anything he has to say? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Use your fucking head, son. He's not a reliable source. Why would you take that bullshit backstory? Why would you take that as legitimate to begin with? He's the bad guy. That's like a fucking thief telling you, oh, I didn't do it. Okay, but you have a history of being a thief. You're guilty until proven innocent, motherfucker. Come on, man. What the fuck's wrong with y'all? God damn it, people. Think for one fucking second. So anyway, so then of course, the people turn against Amon and all that motherfucking jazz. And then he goes and he breaks out his brother and is like, yo man, let's roll, cause we need to do this, yeah, we're gonna kick it, we're gonna be boys again. Fuck the fact that I took away your bending. Fuck that. Fuck the fact that we've been fighting each other the whole time. Fuck the fact that I could have killed you. Fuck the fact that I imprisoned you. Yeah, we brothers, we cool. Let's go do this, right? Right. Cause the fact, cause blood ties completely wipes away the fact that the motherfucker took away your bending. That's my 25-minute marker. I'm trying to wrap this shit up within the next 5 minutes. Okay, so yeah, right? Because blood ties completely negate the fact that the motherfucker took away your bending, right? Okay. And then, of course, Tarlak's like, well, fuck this. Nah, I'm going to kill us both, because he blew up the motherfucking boat, right? Okay, let me tell you this. I'm not surprised that Amon just turned tail and ran. He didn't really have a choice. Why? Because Amon's greatest power was his strength in numbers. I mean, Amon couldn't have been able to do half the shit he did if he didn't have followers. But here's my thing. Breaking out Tarlock and the speedboat getaway. Oh, cliche fucking villain getaway. What the fuck are you? Wait, what? You running away from the hideout? What the fuck, man? And then, I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up. Yeah, we're gonna conveniently kill ourselves. Okay. Then the shit with Korra. Let's talk about the shit with Korra. The whole, first off, the whole Korra Mako relationship, once again, bullshit. Why is it bullshit? Because it's contrived. Why is it contrived? Because it only happened because the creators wanted it to happen. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what do you people understand? Do you people understand what I'm really talking about? I'm talking about a relationship that only developed because the creator said it was going to develop. You see what I'm saying? Well, correction, I'm not even going to use the term develop because it never developed. A romantic relationship between them never developed. It just happened because the creator said it was going to happen. It's called contrived. It's like you're reading a story about a man who wants to build a house, and in one chapter he says, okay, I want to build a house, and then in the next chapter the house is already built, but you never see how he built the fucking house. It just happened because the author said it had to happen. Contrived, convenient, lazy ass fucking writing. And of course, this is what I was going to mention earlier because it ties in right here. Of course, Asami, once again, my sentiment on Asami remains the same. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her character because she is misplaced, misused, and abandoned. What I said in last week's review stands up right here. Nothing has changed. And that's going to bring me to my final remark about this motherfucking episode was the Deus Machina that these motherfuckers pulled at the end of the episode, where Korra is now faced with the fact that, oh, I've lost my bending. Oh no, my greatest fear. Remember, because that was her fear throughout the entire series, that Amon could take away her bending. And now that it's finally happened, it's like, oh no, I lost my bending. Boo-hoo-hoo. And then Big Daddy Avatar Aang shows up, restores her bending, and now she can restore everybody else's bending. So we've just completely restored everything in the motherfucking series back to the status quo. Nothing has changed. Except the fact that Republic City had a war. Asami lost her father and her boyfriend. Katara got the guy she was crushing on. Tenzin got a new baby boy. And now Korra is in touch with the spiritual world. But has she really grown as a person? No. Has Tenzin grown as a mentor figure to her? No. Has Bolin matured? No. Has Mako learned anything about responsibility and loyalty to thy significant other? No. Did Tarlock see the error of his ways? Only after his bending was taken away, and he still committed murder-suicide, so no. Oh, and a Deus Machina, people? Really? I'm sorry. I haven't even graduated college yet, and I know you don't do a fucking Deus Machina. That's English 101. My camera's about to cut off. Bad finale, people. Bad finale. Decent at best. Decent at best. And my thoughts on the entire series are the same. Decent at best. Not great. Not grand. Okay for what it is. Okay for what it is. My camera should have cut off by now. Oh well. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the finale and the series.